This season, Texas Tech is switching to all mobile ticketing. That's right, season tickets, mini plans, and single game tickets for all Texas Tech football, men's basketball, women's basketball, and baseball events are now mobile. So what does this mean for you? Convenience. Because your tickets will be stored on your mobile device, you no longer need to worry about receiving or printing physical copies of your tickets. This new process eliminates the need to coordinate meeting times for ticket distribution by allowing you the flexibility of easily transferring your tickets from your mobile device to the personal device of friends or family. So arriving to the game at different times is no longer a problem. Eliminating the costs of printing physical tickets allows us to put more resources into enhancing both the student-athlete and fan experience. Prior to arriving to the stadium on game day, be sure to check your Apple Passbook or Google Pay and confirm tickets have been added. On game days, all you'll need is your phone, your physical parking pass, and of course that Raider Power Spirit. If you have any questions, feel free to contact support in the Texas Tech ticket office at 806-742-TECH or visit texastech.com/mobile ticketing.
It's typical Tech. Typical Tech.
It's a touchdown, Red Raiders.
Fantastic.
Lubbock and leave it.
And they hail from Lubbock, Texas.
That's pure Texas Tech. Hello and welcome to another episode of Typical Tech. I'm your host, Robert Giovanetti. Thanks so much for joining us. Hope you are having a great week. Typical Tech brought to you by Jakeem Grant, a proud partner of Texas Tech Athletics. When it comes to roofing, construction, and plumbing, don't settle for anything but the best. Contact Jakeem Grant, the best solution for your home or business. Thanks again for joining us. We think we have a great program for you today. When you look back on Red Raiders in the NFL, everyone is talking about number 15 in Kansas City, but don't forget about Jakeem Grant out there in Miami. Jakeem working hard in the Florida Heat, getting ready for the start of camp this summer. We're going to hear from Jakeem Grant. And a little bit later, we're going to go off topic a little bit. And Texas Tech is a powerhouse when it comes to meat judging. 14 national championships. We'll be joined by the head coach of the Texas Tech Meats program, Mark Miller. And speaking of Jakeem Grant, it's time for your Typical Tech trivia question. Jakeem holds the Texas Tech career record for touchdowns off of kickoff returns. How many kick return touchdowns did he have? And a bonus, who did he have them against? We'll answer that one in just a little bit. All right, we're now pleased to be joined by former Red Raider great, now with the Miami Dolphins, Jakeem Grant. Jakeem, the all-time leading receiver in Texas Tech history, breaking the record set by Michael Crabtree. So pretty good company there for Jakeem. Jakeem's out in Florida right now. Jakeem, thanks for joining us. How are you hanging out during this pandemic?
Oh man, thankful for first off. Thanks for having me. Man, hanging in there. I'm ready for the world to go back to normal. I can't wait. I know that we got another wave coming in, which stinks. But man, it's real great because I get to enjoy a lot of family time that I normally wouldn't get during the season, and even during this time right now, because a lot of training and OTAs and things like that. So I'm just really enjoying the family time. But man, I'm telling you, like having your kids at home all day, I'm telling you, man, I almost went bald the other day. I was that close. But man, look, I love my kids to death, but when school is in, I love it. You know, it gives me a little break from them, but it's daddy time. And like I said, man, I just want to say, like, I appreciate teachers, everything that they do, because I tried to homeschool my kids, and I tell you, I'm telling you, man, I almost had a head full of gray hair, everything. Like, it was so stressful, and I couldn't take it.
So if you get a vote, you're voting, hey, let's get the kids back to school.
Definitely. I have my 100% vote, 100%.
Hey, how is the league communicating with you guys? Especially, Florida, go back to this. Florida is a hotspot right now, right? The cases have never been higher in Florida. So is the team telling you guys to take any special precautions or anything to try to stay safe?
Definitely telling us take precautions, stay safe, et cetera, wash your hands, do this, and try to stay away from big crowds and things like that, especially NFLPA reaching out to us, keeping us updated on when do we report for training camp, what's going on, things of that nature. Coach Flo always get on the Zoom meeting and tell us, hey, you guys don't stay in a larger group more than 10 and things like that. And even when we go out and run routes and, with the quarterbacks, he try to limit it to how many guys go out there. And so, we're definitely taking those precautions to staying safe, making sure that we don't bring it back home to our family, and so it doesn't spread.
Are you able to remain optimistic? You feel good that, hey, we're going to have an NFL season this fall?
Man, definitely. I'm just like kind of irritated, kind of iffy about them, like having them say, okay, we're not going to have fans or we're going to have limited fans. Like, what's a football game without fans? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
There's like the fans can like give you easy momentum. I love hearing like even when I was back in college, the Texas Tech first down, the Dolphins first down, like I love hearing that. Like, if you don't hear that in the game or while the game's playing, it's gonna be like a scrimmage or a practice. You got your own teammates cheering for you. Like, that's great and all, but those 60,000 fans, there's nothing like it. You cannot be replaced, and we have to have the fans. Definitely have to have them.
Hey, are you when you look at your career, you were drafted in 2016, right?
Yes, sir.
A lot of people doubted you, right, coming out because you're smaller than an average NFL receiver.
Mm-hmm.
As you look, how proud of you that not only did you make it, but gosh, you're a multi-year vet now.
Mm-hmm. I look back on it and it just shows people that are my size growing up and that are coming in and showing them that, man, you can do it if I can do it, man. Like, don't let nobody doubt you. Take that doubt that people are throwing at you and turn it into fuel. And it just creates like a big bag of chips on your shoulder. Not just a chip on your shoulder. I'm talking about bags of chips. I'm talking about the variety pack that you get from Walmart. Like, that's how I feel. Like, whenever people still doubt me to this day, man, I still take it. And I'm like, you know what, continue to doubt me because, I'm coming, a full head of steam. And that's when I play my best, is when they continue to doubt me. And, who are you without your doubters? Those are the guys that make you want to go and, push the limits, and even just your self-motivation for you to be great. That just go above and beyond. Like I said, like those doubters add fuel to the fire. Like, when I look back on my career, man, I loved it. I've accomplished and I've overcame so many obstacles that's been thrown at me, and I'm still doing it to this day, and I'm gonna continue to do it until God says, "Hey, Jakeem, time to hang up the cleats."
Hey, there was a time here at Jones Stadium that one of the loudest reactions we got from the crowd was playing your kickoff return for a touchdown for the Dolphins. So the Tech fans still love you quite a bit. Is that something when you got into the league, they thought, okay, to get my foot in the door, I got to show I can contribute on special teams? Because I know now you're saying, hey, I'm more than just a special teams guy.
Yeah. Man, that's been my career from the first beginning of football. Start off on special teams, got to make a big impact on there and get an opportunity to, make an impact on the offense. And so I'm still doing that to this day and continue to make a big impact. And so I was just like, man, I was coming to the league my rookie year. I'm like, I got Jarvis Landry in front of me. There's no way in hell that I'm going to be starting. Jarvis Landry is a great, man. I look at him and all his route running, his catches. He's great. I'm like, I'm being realistic with myself. I'm like, there's no way I'm going to start. Like, I gotta make a big impact on special teams. And my rookie year, I had, kickoff return was all second nature. That was easy. But punt return, I never did it in my life. I was scared as hell. I'm not going to lie. Probably the scariest I ever been. Like, I remember it was a preseason game versus the Giants. And there was nobody around me. The ball was probably 5 yards ahead of me. I let it hit the ground. I was like, yeah, coach, I couldn't get to it. And when I look back at it, I was like, I could have definitely got to it. I was just nervous as hell. I'd never done it in my life. So I was like, you know what? Just catch the ball. Let's just do it. And so that game, I actually got like a 40-yard return on that, and it just took off from there. I started getting comfortable, and my rookie year went up and down with the punt return because, like I said, I was a young guy, scared, didn't know it, never done it. Like, you almost have to be mentally not right to do punt return. I'm just being honest. Your head is 90 degrees in the air, looking at the ball and trusting that your teammates and trusting that, that they're going to get the block. And even then, whenever you're you know what, I'm not fair catching. It's been plenty of times where I'm like, I'm not fair catching, and I took a big hit. Like, you have to, like, you mentally have to be, you know, not all the way there. I'm just being honest. So, but like I said, man, like, you definitely, like, being an undersized receiver, they're gonna limit you at the first beginning and automatically throw you like, oh, you're gonna be a return guy. So I was like, you know what, I have to be able to show out on special teams until I get my chance on offense. And so that's what I'm gonna continue to do, and I'm doing that as well. And now it's come to the chance. It's come the time where it's time to show them that this receiver game is still in the bag.
What are the voluntary workouts, the OTAs like? You got Ryan Fitzpatrick, who's a great quarterback. You got Tua there. You've got Chan Gailey now as the offense coordinator. What's been different for you guys this summer?
We've been doing a lot of Zoom meetings. They definitely been making us record our workouts, which I was totally not used to. And so that's when I started recording like my receiver workouts and started, you know, pushing that message that I'm a receiver, then a returner. So I've been throwing. Fitz lately hasn't been down, but been getting with him a lot and just going over communications, checks, just asking him like what we doing, different scenarios. He's been quizzing me. He gave me a 15-question quiz, and I'm like, come on, man. And so he made me do homework over the new playbook. And so, you know, that you got to do it with a vet guy like that, and I truly respect him for that. But I've ran routes with Rosen and Jake Rudock, Tua. We all got together. We threw the ball, just getting the offense down and getting that connection down going into camp, so that we won't have any drop off because of, you know, the circumstances that we are in now. And so we just going at it and attacking it. Like, those guys that have a great arm. For Tua to be a young guy like that, he has a great arm. I told him, let's see if you have the arm, you know, capacity for me to outrun it. And so I was like, don't let me outrun the ball. So he takes his little 3-step drop and throw it as far as he can. I was like, you're not outthrowing me. I'm telling you that now. And so, but like I said, man, it's actually been a smooth transition. All the rookies has came down once or twice, and we've all got together and worked out and just studying the playbook and just so we can be, you know, fresh going into training camp.
Hey, so speaking of, you can run down any ball. So a guy you know pretty well, Patrick Mahomes, he just signed a new contract. He's got a receiver, Tyreek Hill, who's pretty fast. So settle this: who's faster, you or Tyreek Hill?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna go with me. I'm not. There's definitely. I'm not gonna say that I'm blowing him out the water, but it'd definitely be an interesting race. I definitely commented on there whenever he was like, if anybody in the NFL wants to race, we can race. And I was probably, I don't know, the only guy that commented on there was like, hey, let's do it. Let's make this happen for the fans. We've been compared to each other since college, and who's the fastest. And I remember when he played at OKC and he caught like a post-score touchdown, and people was like, I don't know if you faster than him, Jakeem. And I'm like, man, come on, man, don't do that. And so I definitely would love to race him. It'll be great to see, you know, who's actually the fastest. And so it'll be great for the fans. A lot of people were, when I commented on it, a lot of people was like, now that's a race I'll pay to see. And I'm like, man, it'll come. The time is gonna come where we both gonna have to race and finally settle it. I know they got some young bucks in the league said that they're fast and this and that. Not worried about them. It's just me and Tyreek right now. I'm not worried about the young bucks. It's me and Tyreek right now, and I've been telling people like, Tyreek got it, man, because he has my quarterback that I had in college. Like, hey, I mean, he's been already used to throwing to guys like me. So he's had me in college for 2.5 years. So I knew Tyreek was gonna light it up, and that's all. And he's a great player, and Pat is a future Hall of Famer. And so, man, it was just they got their connection that me and Pat already had in college.
Yeah, Pat's probably overthrown him because he's used to throwing to you, a speedy guy like you. Hey, how awesome to see Patrick's success. I mean, could you have foreseen that playing with him in college?
Oh, definitely. I called it. I would say it was my rookie year. Probably going in my second season. I was talking to one of my former teammates, Leonte Carew, and I was telling him, I was like, if Patrick Mahomes, the first year he starts, I promise you, he's going to win MVP. And he was like, hey, you think he's that good? I said, I played with him. I know what he can do. I was like, those no-look passes and all that stuff that he was doing that at practice in college. Like, I'm telling you, he's going to win MVP, let alone he won MVP. Next thing you know, the next year, Super Bowl champ. I'm like, I told you this, like, I'm just in awe because I'm like, I knew all this would happen. He was great from the start. And I'm just like amazed about how the things that he's doing. He's already breaking NFL records in his first, couple seasons. And I'm like, man, there's just so much that he can do. And he has a long, bright future ahead of him. And that's why I say he's a future Hall of Famer. Like his game only elevates as he continue to get, more experience in the league. And as soon as he signed that $500 million contract, I was the first, probably the first one to congratulate him. Like, hey, man, congratulations. Like, and I wouldn't mind if you buy me like 2 houses, or something. Like, you wouldn't even see that money. That money would be like chump change to you. But man, like I said, man, it's congratulations to him. I love to see former Texas Tech players succeed, especially somebody that I was really close to. And that was me. It was just me and Pat show, especially when I was there at Texas Tech. So, man, I'm just, lost for words of how his career is going.
Hey, you had a lot of big moments when you're here at Tech. Do you have a favorite memory or a favorite play?
Actually, I do. It was actually Patrick Mahomes scramble, and he threw it to me against, I think it was Iowa State. And like I got open early, and I was waiting in the back, and he was doing his Patrick Mahomes thing, scrambling around the backfield, making guys miss, doing this and that. I'm like, geez, I've been open for 10 minutes now. Like, come on, Pat, throw the ball. And then he dots me, like, throw probably like a 50-yard, like freaking drill right to me, right in the end zone. Boom, catch it. Like, in between, like, Jaden High and I think it was, like, Tony Brown. And I'm like, man, he was running back there for, like 10 minutes. Like, I don't see how nobody tackled him. And then my second favorite play is when I should have scored. I had an out route when I ran across the field and did all the big weaving. And Pat laid out for a block for me. I'm like, yo, like, this is truly my guy. This is my guy right here. A quarterback shot blocking a defender and helping me get open and get that big run, man. I was just like, man, like, this is my boy, man. This is going to be my boy. I've never seen a quarterback do that. Of course, he got chewed out when he went to the sideline by Coach King. So Coach King told him, like, never do that again. But, man, it's countless memories that I have of Pat and plays that we have together. And also, I was his first touchdown in college on a corner route.
How about that? I wonder if he remembers that you were his first touchdown.
Yep.
I thought you might say Big People, Little World against Texas down in Austin.
No, that was probably like one of my top favorite plays of like it would have been like just one of my top favorite plays. It's just one of those Pat moments. Like I always admired like his the way he played and his style of like just his arm and the way he plays and being able to. He's not to me like he's not that fast, but he's elusive and right. He's weaving out in and out, and he's a big guy too. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, he's like 200 and something, like, and he just easily he can make people miss. And I'm just like, to me, he's moving in slow motion because I'm so used to like me moving fast and stuff, trying to compare him to me. But he's moving in slow motion and he's killing them. And I'm like, man, Pat, I don't know how you do it, but and then he can just like literally run from side to side and throw a 70-yard bomb on the dime. I'm like, Jesus Christ! And I don't even know anybody that can do that. So.
Hey, I know when you left here, you were talking about you wanted to play in the NFL for your family and take care of your family. And I see the bike there behind you. How important has that been for you that you provide for your family like this and having this great NFL career?
Oh man, it's been great. Just still climbing. But man, I watched my mom, like, single family home, single parent. My mom raised 3 growing young men, which we didn't make it easy on her at all. But it was just motivating me because I seen my mom work 2 jobs, and I was just like, man, I have to do it. I have to go out there and get it. I watched my mom grind and not come home till late at night and do this. And I was like, man, I have to go out here and just grind for this. And then once I was blessed to have my kids. I was like, my kids will never have to see me, working 2 jobs, stressed out, crying, doing this and that. That way I can just go give them the life that they can only imagine, and I just want them to grow up to not have to need or want anything from anybody. And that's always been my purpose. And for my mom to just sit there and just do that for us, it was just me just saying like, thank you, Mom. I appreciate you. You actually instilled this in me, this drive in me that I'm continue to climb the Mount Everest until I get to the top. And I'm still doing that. And I told my mom like I'll never smile or be happy until I can physically just say, you know what, Mom, yeah, you can retire and you can just hang the bag up and you can just relax and live life. And so I'm still doing that until I can retire my mom.
That's awesome. Does your mom get to see you play very much? Is she following you pretty closely?
Yeah, all the time. She's actually down here in Florida. Got a big contract, able to move her out here, get her a little house. So she's down here. She's at every home game. And so and on that one of my touchdowns from Buffalo last year, she was sitting in the stands. And if at the end of it, you could probably see me running, and before I was like completely blown up by my own teammate chasing me down on the touchdown. I was just running to her, and I was telling her to come down and grab the ball because I was telling her like, I respect everything that you have done for me throughout my whole life, and me and my brothers. Like, I respect you and I appreciate it, and because I through that and that time I was going through like hamstring, coming off an Achilles injury and things like that. And she just kept telling me like, don't worry about it. God has something planned for you. And that was the first game that I was like actually really healthy. And so, and I killed it that game. And I was just telling her like, thanks for being there for me mentally and physically. And so, man, like I said, my mom is all around amazing.
That's awesome. You still keep up? You following the Red Raiders? You still pulling for the Red Raiders from out there in Florida?
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. Texas Tech to our job, man. Red Raiders for life. Always.
Jakeem, everyone here is following your career closely. Good luck with this. Hopefully we'll see you playing this fall in front of some fans.
Yes, sir.
Jayford Roofing Pros.
Knowing that your communities have turned to Jayford Roofing Pros to roof your schools, churches, and hospitals, you'll find comfort at home living under a Jayford roof. If you want a quality roof from a local company who will be here after the storm chasers are gone, call Jayford Roofing Pros today. Don't just get a roof, choose a Jayford roof.
The best solution for your business or your home. Jayford Roofing Pros.
Okay, if you want to talk about Typical Tech, how about the meets program at Texas Tech? 14 national championships. We're now pleased to be joined by the San Antonio Livestock Show Distinguished Chair in Meat Sciences. Been around a long time. I think coached 13 of those national championships, right? Dr. Mark Miller. Dr. Miller, thanks for joining us, and hope you're having a great summer. How's it going for you right now?
We're having a great summer. We have really been blessed to be able to have a lot of animals that needed to be harvested in our meat science laboratory because of COVID, shutting down Houston and Austin stock shows. So due to that, we had a large amount of products. So we started filming and videoing, and we helped create a online virtual judging camp. And we had quite a few people in that, about 33 kids from 10, 12 different states that participated over a 3-day period. And then we did a coaches clinic the end of June. So we are doing everything we can to use technology to keep meat judging going. And we're starting a new one tonight. We're going to host another one. I have a 2-hour session 3 nights in a row with the kids that are in this one. And then we're going to have a live judging camp that we have approved on campus August 8th, 9th, and 10th. So we're pretty busy with all of that, and our students are really working hard.
That's fantastic to hear. You're planning on something in person in August, because it means we're kind of getting back, hopefully, to normal. I do want to talk about the program and the success of the program. Of course, a lot of people have known for a long time what you guys have been doing starting in 1989. But when did you start kind of feeling like all of a sudden a lot of people on campus started paying attention to, man, they're pretty successful over there at the MEETS program?
I have to tell you, though, it's really a family a deal, you know. When we actually started feeling like that everybody across campus and everyone thought a lot about the meat judging team was back when we had President Harrigan and we had Chancellor Monfort, and they came and they were in our team pictures for all those years they were here. And then Marcia Sharp opened up the basketball arena and let us get introduced at halftime to the crowd. And of course, she always had a packed house. In those days, we were in the Coliseum and then moved over to the USA. And every one of those years, many of those years, we had a national championship. So we got those kids introduced. Marcia opened that door, and that's when it all came to light, I think, is we give Marcia Sharp a lot of the credit. And then Bobby Knight, he followed through and came over and gave us some motivational speeches, let us attend one of his practices. So we have a very big, blessed history with the athletic program at Tech. It's helped us a lot in our judging program.
But you talk about a family, and the thing that I've always noticed about the meat judging community, your alums, right? You guys have a tremendous endowment. The alums give back. The alums are very active, and you guys we're kind of cutting edge in that area, right? That's been a long time coming for this program. You guys have been doing this a long time.
We have. I am fortunate to be an alumni at Texas Tech, and so I judged back in 1981, and that's a long time ago. But Gordon Davis was told by Bill Bennett. Bill Bennett's a guy that started development in the College of Ag, and he said, "Hey, GW, you probably need some scholarships to recruit some of those kids." And GW said, "No, I don't want them if they don't want to come and just judge." And he came from A&M where they had a history and a tradition. Well, then about a year later, he went back to see Bill and said, "I need some scholarship money because I can't get a kid to come here." And so that started it all, because he formed a group and we had the Meat Science Association. And so that developed that history you're talking about, and the ability to be able to give back as part of our students' mentality as they come through the program. It's not just about what they can accomplish while they're here. Winning a national championship truly is the least important thing they can do. We really believe that they need to go out and be change agents and then come back and give back to Texas Tech. But not only Texas Tech, but to the entire nation and whatever they work in. They need to look at a bigger picture than just themselves.
Yeah, so you've got, I think if people could look at just some of the success of some of your students after they moved on and some of the careers they've chosen, and they're making an impact. But where are some of the things when somebody says, "Hey, I've been a meat judge," what are some of the industries and some of the jobs they can have going beyond what they did here at Texas Tech?
What's really awesome about it is that it spans the entire university campus. So we have medical doctors that are very successful. One of our graduates was on our 2006 team. She's in Temple at Scott and White, and she's the nation's leading neonatal surgeon in utero. And so she's saving kids' lives, while they're still in the mom, correcting some things there. That would be one. Then we have dentists, we have physical therapists, pharmacists, pretty much of course, veterinarians, and even lawyers, right? We have quite a few lawyers. And then, of course, we have people who are working all across the industry, working in Hormel, Oscar Mayer. If it's a food company, Sara Lee, Jimmy Dean, Tyson, if you know it, they're all working there. And then, of course, USDA, it's very important in all the things that they have going on. So we have a lot of people working in meat quality and development of new products that are in this healthy craze where we are at in these, keto diets. We have a lot of folks that are sitting in industry jobs that are trying to develop that new ready-to-eat handheld product you can carry in your backpack, your purse. And so those are just some of the areas that we can go into. And what's fun about it is we have people that just go into public service. We have folks that are in Washington, D.C. and in Austin, all over. So I guess the reason why we have all those national championships, we just have a lot of great kids. I don't think it's much to do with the coaching as it is the wonderful people that we've had. It's kind of like a football team. If we had a whole bunch of Patrick Mahomes and all the folks that you saw in there, we'd probably win most all the time. And so I think that's kind of what makes a difference is the kids.
Hey, the Sports Illustrated article, everyone was very proud of that, passed it around. Everyone wanted to read about it. And they called you guys the Alabama of meat judging. I almost think Alabama could be called the Texas Tech of football, Texas Tech meat judge of football, right? Because the Alabama would love to have the number of national championships you guys have. Are you at the point where that's kids that are really adept at this and good at it, this is the place they want to come, to Texas Tech?
Most definitely. I think a lot of people want to come here, and not only because of the judging program, but just our department and college and university. It's a very beautiful campus. I think there's been a lot of work that's gone on the last 25 years. I think we were labeled the ugliest campus in the United States in the early 80s whenever I was an undergraduate and a graduate student. And so that's transformed. Most everybody loves Lubbock. They love Texas Tech. And so the city, the environment, the people make it a very attractive place for people to come. And what's really fun is a lot of our graduates off these teams are now leading programs at Kansas State University, Colorado State University, Oklahoma State University, Texas A&M. Many of the places that we're having to try to beat are our students, former students. And that's really fun. Because we're just having to try to beat them, and that's harder to do. So the competition level's raised. It's just like Saban. A lot of people, Dabo and all those guys used to coach there. And then they got hired away, and now he's, he doesn't have any tricks that they don't know about. So it's kind of tougher for him to win, and that's a good thing. It's good for Tech, and it's good for meat judging.
When these kids get here, is there not that extra pressure on them they don't want to be the class, they don't want to be the group that lets it down? I mean, you guys have it really rolling right now.
It's suffocating, and that's basically all we work on. To tell you the truth, the meat judging part's the easiest. It's the mental part that's the most difficult. And some years we can get it, but if you can't handle the pressure, that's the thing that kills you, because it's suffocating to think about not winning the national championship when you come back to Texas Tech as a kid, as opposed to somewhere else where if you show up and you just win, oh, that's great, but you didn't really have any pressure, because if you come back and you got third, everybody's going to think that's okay. At Texas Tech, if you come back and you got second, you're a loser, and you just really are, you don't feel good about it. And we really work hard to make that change, because that's absolutely wrong. Right. I'd say the last 5 to 8 years, we focused on how important it is that meat judging, if all we're here to do is win, then we're here for the wrong reason. And let's let winning take care of itself, but let's strive for honor, let's pursue excellence, and let's serve unselfishly, and then let the other stuff take care of itself. Because those three principles will carry on wherever we go, and we'll always be a winner if we give maximum effort with pursuit of excellence. We'll always be a winner if we treat other people better than we want to be treated, and are unselfish. And we'll always be a winner if we did it the right way. So you may not get labeled the national championship. They only give one of those away. But you can always be a champion and a Red Raider, somebody that you can just walk out there and everybody will go, wow, man, you're from Texas Tech. Because our people, when they get out, they can be change agents. Like, we can go into companies, we can go into medical schools and all these other things, and we can lead by example and be unselfish, it's a dog-eat-dog out there. And we always try to promote that, because we'll have these 28-member teams. We only get to choose 4 kids that count. And so that means you got to really become unselfish and understand that the team is more important than the individual. So I hope that helps you to understand where we've grown, because that pressure is so suffocating. If we focus on winning, we're going to lose. I mean, we cannot do that.
Hey, in athletics, facilities are such a key part. And you guys have great facilities there too. We talked offline about Red Raider Meats. You've got the great meat lab over there. Is that important to people coming? Are they looking and checking out facilities here and saying, hey, they really do take it seriously here beyond just the national championships?
Oh, we're all materialistic, and the facilities make everything. Gordon Davis and Boyd Ramsey got that facility built in 1988, and that helped us come up the pike. And now we're kind of behind the 8 ball, and we're working to try to get an additional facility built to expand us, because West Texas A&M just built a large facility, and it's state of the art, and everybody's talking about that. So we're going to lose kids to WT, and our best judge that we've had here, one of the top 5 judges of all time, she finished her PhD, and now she's up there recruiting really hard, probably the most active and vicious recruiters you can get. And so facilities are really important, and we have nice facilities. And we really are trying to stay on that cutting edge by recruiting some donors to help us with building some new facilities right now.
She knows all your secrets. She's just up the road now using all your secrets to help build a program, right?
That's right. And the young man at K-State's the same way, Travis Gwynn and Lonnie Luchek and Gretchen Mayfield at Oklahoma State. You know, we would have won the last 6 national championships if it wasn't for her. But she's managed to beat us 3 times. We beat her 3 times. And, you know, I love those guys. They're my daughters and my sons, and I'm just so happy and proud of them. And I hope that they can come up and beat us, but we're not going to give them a thing. You know, we're going to do everything we can to beat them.
Hey, when you look back on your career, and you've still got a ways to go, but what are you the most proud of? I mean, obviously you got lots of trophies, you got lots of banners, but what is Mark Miller, when he looks in the mirror, what are you the most proud of that you've accomplished here at Texas Tech?
The people. The trophies are irrelevant. They don't matter, but the people last forever. You know, I think the way that they touch people when they go out of here, and that's what I said. We would have won a lot more early on, but it was all bad coaching because we didn't focus on the right stuff. But once we really start focusing on people and that they're most valuable, and where everybody, you may not be the best meat judge, but you can have the biggest contribution to society and to the world when you get out of here. That's, to me, the most important thing that we've turned out of here.
Well, Dr. Miller, everyone's so proud of you guys. Thanks for taking some time. Hopefully that you'll get a chance to put number 15 up on the wall. But like you said, you've shown us a lot more than that. Congratulations on producing such great students and Red Raiders beyond what they do here at Texas Tech. And thank you for being with us today.
Thank you, guys. Robert, really appreciate it. And wreck 'em and go Tech.
So thank you again to Dr. Miller. 14 national championships. How about that? That is typical Tech. Trivia question before. Jakeem Grant, how many career kickoff returns do you have for a touchdown? And then the bonus baby attached to that, who were they against? Jakeem had 4 kickoff returns for a touchdown when he was here at Texas Tech, which is a school record. Interestingly enough, he bookended those. He did it against Baylor in 2012, his freshman season. That was the last regular season game of the year. And then he had one in the bowl game against Minnesota. So he ended the 2012 season with back-to-back kickoff return for a touchdown. Then he had to be entering his sophomore year going, man, how many is he going to get? And he doesn't get another one until his senior year in the home opener against Sam Houston State. And then he also had one later in the year against Oklahoma State. So Jakeem Grant with 4 kickoff returns for a touchdown here at Texas Tech. And you can see he's doing the same kind of damage in the NFL. And if you can't root for a guy like that, I'm not sure what's pumping in your veins. It's not blood, because Jakeem is a great guy and gave us lots of reasons to root for him, not only just today, just all the time. He's just a great Red Raider. Like, subscribe, give us a 5-star rating on our Texas Tech Athletics podcast channel. Got some new ideas coming up on the podcast channel, so stay tuned for that. So we appreciate all of you that subscribe here to Typical Tech and all of the other great programs we have on the Athletics podcast channel. And I'll finish up with this thought. If you saw our Twitter feed last week, you saw that our fearless leader, Kirby Hocutt, was able to play golf last week with Patrick Mahomes. Patrick, the quarterback, Super Bowl winning quarterback, who's been under a rock, Super Bowl MVP of the league the year before that. And Patrick just signed a $500 million or so contract with the Kansas City Chiefs, making him the highest paid player in the NFL. And that's the biggest contract in NFL history. And you heard Jakeem Grant talking about him from his college days with Patrick. And how about that? There's always going to be somebody's always got to have signed the biggest contract in any league. Patrick now has signed that in the NFL. How about this? Back in 1965, Donnie Anderson signed then the largest contract in NFL history with the Green Bay Packers. So 2 Red Raiders, one in 65, here in 2020, have signed the largest contracts at the time in NFL history. If that doesn't say typical Tech, I don't know what does. Good luck to Patrick, and he's in good company there with the Golden Palomino, Donnie Anderson. Thank you again for watching. Thanks again to Mark Miller. Thanks again to Jakeem Grant. I'm Robert Giovanetti. Talk to you next time here on Typical Tech. It's Typical Tech. Typical Tech.
It's a touchdown, Red Raiders.
Fantastic.
Lubbock and leave it.
And they hail from Lubbock, Texas.
That's pure Texas Tech.
This season, Texas Tech is switching to all mobile ticketing. That's right. Season tickets, mini plans, and single game tickets for all Texas Tech football, men's basketball, women's basketball, and baseball events are now mobile. So, what does this mean for you? Convenience. Because your tickets will be stored on your mobile device, you no longer need to worry about receiving or printing physical copies of your tickets. This new process eliminates the need to coordinate meeting times for ticket distribution by allowing you the flexibility of easily transferring your tickets from your mobile device to the personal device of friends or family. So arriving to the game at different times is no longer a problem. Eliminating the costs of printing physical tickets allows us to put more resources into enhancing both the student-athlete and fan experience. Prior to arriving to the stadium on game day, be sure to check your Apple Passbook or Google Pay and confirm tickets have been added. On game days, all you'll need is your phone, your physical parking pass, and of course that Raider Power Spirit. If you have any questions, feel free to contact support in the Texas Tech ticket office at 806-742-TECH or visit texastech.com/mobile ticketing.